Hello everyone, welcome to my channel or welcome back. I'm really happy to see you here as always, and today's video is going to be all about the books I read in August. I have just finished filming my vlog, which I really enjoyed, and I hope you saw it. If not, you can always come back to my previous video and see it. It was a good one. It was the last summer days which we were catching while my husband had a vacation, and right now you can see that the picture, like the background, have changed, and that's because my son transitioned to one-day nap, which changed everything for me, because before he could fall asleep in his stroller, so I could send my husband and my son outside, and while my son was sleeping there, I could film a video. Right now he only sleeps at home, and I only have the time to film the video when he is sleeping. So today I'm filming this at 10 p.m. I have no idea when I will finish, but hopefully I will get to sleep this night. And also I could speak a little bit quieter than usually. I'm really sorry about that, but I can do nothing, as his room is very close to the room where he is sleeping is very close to the one where I'm filming. So the last thing I want to do is to wake him up. That's why I'm talking the way I'm talking. Again, forgive me that. And now I'm ready to start talking about the books. I will mention the books in the order I read them. So the first one I will be talking about is the first book I read in August, and this is Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. There are multiple reasons why it's kind of hard to talk about this one, and these reasons are: first, this is a third book in the Empyrean series by Rebecca Yarros. It's always hard to talk about second or third book in the series with no spoilers, and for me personally it's also hard because I usually read the series one book after another, so I cannot really separate them from one another, and that's why it's hard for me to talk about them. And another reason with this book is I didn't take a single note while reading it because I was so busy living in this world, and I was so immersed in the story that I didn't want to get distracted with the notes. That's why I can only talk about the things I remember. And another reason is this is my first fantasy series. I do not count Harry Potter because it's just different. So I have nothing to compare to, and I'm pretty new to this, but I will anyway try my best. If you're not familiar with it, it is an Empyrean or a Fourth Wing series. Fourth Wing is also the name of the first book, and it follows Violet Sorrengail, a frail but very bold woman who is forced into a Basgiath War College by her general mother to become a dragon rider. And although everyone around her believes she cannot survive there, she is determined to prove them wrong. If in short, it's all about her growth, her relationship with the person that she falls in love with, her friends, and how they kind of become a family, about, of course, dragons, who are very important characters here, and about the bond between a rider and a dragon. The war, I cannot tell you between who and who, and about many more other things, but I don't again want to talk about them because I am afraid to spoil something. For me, it's a very well organized book with a lot of information being revealed little by little in every other book, but also a huge amount of questions appearing, especially in this one. Like Onyx Storm is just a million of unanswered questions, and considering the fact that the fourth book is going to come out only in around 2 years, it's kind of annoying because like way too many questions with no answer. This series was supposed to be a 4-book series, but then the author decided to do 5 books, and I'm not too happy about that because I prefer this to be a trilogy or like the maximum 4 books, because I would like to get all of the answers in the next book, but that's just my opinion and it will not change anything, unfortunately. I still cannot decide if I consider this book to be a very well thought out one, and where Rebecca Yarros has twisted everything the way where in the next book we will just think how talented she is and our draws will drop and we will all be shocked. Or this is just a poorly written book and the author herself does not know how to solve all the problems that she created. And I think I will get the answers to these questions only when I read the next book, or better to say if I read it, because I am not sure. Like, of course I want to know how the story continues, but I'm not sure in 2 years I will still be interested. I would put Fourth Wing, the first book, on the first place. Then I liked The Iron Flame, which is the second book, a bit less, and this one the least. Overall, I really liked the atmosphere, the dragons, the friendships. I liked a lot of side characters, which doesn't very often happen to me, and the fact that I always wanted to come back to these books and to this world makes me give the series in general 4 out of 5 stars. But this book in particular, I would probably give 3 stars. I was really excited about the next book, but unfortunately I did not get what I was expecting at all. The book is called Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi, a Japanese author, and it's about the cafe where you can come, get like a special procedure by the workers of this cafe and go to the past. But you have to come back before the coffee gets cold. Now please sit there and think for a second, why would you go to the past? Why would you go to the past? Stop this video and give me your answer in the comments, because the answer to this question might really impact on your impression from this book, like it was with me. So I'm really curious if something is wrong with me, or everybody would have the same answer to this question. I hope you gave your answer. Now here is mine. For me, if I had a chance to go to the past, I would, of course, want to change something there. Like, I don't see other reasons. I would go there to change something. And of course, when you change something in the past, your present will change as well. So this is what I was waiting from this book, and the fact that you have such a short period of time made it even more appealing. But this book and the cafe has a list of rules, and forgive me please for saying that, but I would say stupid rules, which does not make any sense in returning back in time. I believe it was intended to be something very special and unusual, but for me it was just so stupid from the very beginning. The second thing I really hated about the book is that the author repeated these rules, as I said, very stupid rules, so many times that it seems that he considers his readers to be stupid. Like, if you don't say the same thing for 10 times, I will not remember it. Or maybe I did not understand it from the first, 5th or 10th time, so let's repeat them 10 more times. It was so frustrating, believe me. And the third thing were the dialogues. So elementary. Not deep, not compelling, meaningless even. Did I like anything about this book? Yes, that it was short enough not to make me too angry to throw it out of the window. Don't recommend it at all. A waste of time for me, and 2 out of 5 stars, not 0, not 1, only because I can see that the author did some job to write it and even tried to make it something interesting. So I respect that, but unfortunately for me, he absolutely failed at it. I don't have too much to say about the next book. It's The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han, the first young adult book I read, and I just got everything I expected from this book. It was full of teenager drama, but I believe just a little bit too dramatic for me. But I think that the characters were described very well as people of their age. They were not silly, and the problems felt very real. I realized I don't like young adult very much, but I think it's a good book for young adults. One thing I still don't understand is why everyone gets so over Conrad, why everyone likes him, because even after finishing the book, I do not get it. Even considering everything he was going through, I still don't like him. I like his brother Jeremiah much more. He was like my least favorite character here. I also read a couple of very annoyed reviews by different people on Goodreads, and I don't quite understand that either, because people are waiting this book to be something serious and the characters to act and make decisions as if they are grown-ups, but they are not. This is a book about teenagers, young adults. So if you cannot remember how you were feeling and acting when you were a teenager, and you cannot look at the book and the characters from that perspective, not from a perspective of a 30 or 40-year-old person, better just don't read young adult books, because you will probably not understand them, like them, and you will just get annoyed. This is just not the literature for you. As I said, I don't have much to say about this one. It was good, pretty good. I gave it 4 stars, I think, but I'm not too interested in continuing the series. It was good for the summer. I liked it, but that's just enough. Well, the next book is the one I want to spend more time talking about, because it definitely was the best book in August and one of the best in 2025. It's called The Paper Palace by Miranda Cowley Heller. I am convinced that if you continue thinking about the book even after you have finished it, it definitely deserves a higher rating, and this is what happened to me with this book. I literally could not stop thinking about it even after I completed it. And I returned to this one so many times that it actually surprised me, because it doesn't happen so often. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, but sometimes I still think that it deserves 5 stars. And I even watched a very long interview with Miranda Cowley Heller about the book, which also demonstrates how much I liked it, and I'm happy I did that, because it unfolded a book for me on an even deeper level. I get why so many people hate it, but I didn't. I loved it, and I'm going to tell you why. The book starts from Elle, or Ellie, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name because I read this book in Ukrainian edition. She is our protagonist, and everything starts from her cheating on her husband Peter with her childhood friend and first love Jonas. And after that, she has to choose how to continue her life, to stay with her husband Peter or to continue it with Jonas. Through flashbacks, the novel explores Elle's past traumas, family history, and the complex events that shaped her and her present decisions. For me, the main theme of this book was how the choices our parents make affect us and our lives, and not only in terms of what they do, how they behave, and what decisions they make, but also how they treat their children, like how parents treat their children and what they pay attention to while raising them. Because these choices have a huge impact on who we become and what decisions we make in our life. Today, this idea is not new. Everybody seems to know it, but in this book, you can really feel the connection. And it's not only about one family, it's about generations and generations, because the decisions my grandmother made influenced my mother, and then her decisions impacted on me, and then my decisions will somehow have an influence on my children, and then their choices will form and shape their children, and so on, so on, so on. Of course, there is another side of it. We can choose not to repeat the patterns of our parents, to create a completely different life and build new, healthier relationships, and it will also shape future generations. But of course, it's much easier said than done. Although I really liked this book, I have to admit that there were so many heavy topics here that sometimes it felt a bit overwhelming and even kind of hard to breathe. I felt at times that I needed to pause, step away, and go get some fresh air. In the end, I still didn't understand Elle's decision from her younger life, why she married Peter and not Jonas. For me, the events that happened in their childhood, if you read the book, you will understand what I mean, should have brought them closer and not pushed them apart. So I still think that she just made a mistake not listening to her heart and not marrying the man she truly loved. I think she just married the wrong man. And at the same time, her marriage right now is perfect. She loves her husband, she loves her children, her husband is a great man. So why ruin everything? I will not tell you what she chose, to stay with her husband or go back to Jonas, but the book is all about her thoughts and how she's making this decision. So for me, it's kind of foolish in a way, because why ruin everything when everything is perfect? And you did have a choice. Like, she really had a choice when she was younger. She didn't choose Jonas, and yet she still regrets about her decisions and still thinks that maybe she should have chosen Jonas. Like, I've never been in the situation like that, but I still understood her. Like, I felt what she felt, and in the end I understood why she was choosing between them. But just, if I were her, I would make a different decision when I was younger. And this book for me is also about how at some point of our lives, I think we all ask ourselves a question if our decisions were correct, if our choices were right. Because maybe if we made other choices in our past, we would have a completely different life right now. So for me, this book is really precious because it made me think so much, and I think one day I will reread it. I also want to mention a couple of trigger warnings, like betrayal, child abuse, sexual assault, and cancer. There are a couple others, but these are the main ones that could and very often do scare people away. In conclusion, I want to say that this was a very deep and meaningful book, as I said, which made me think a lot, and I think this is the reason I rated it so high. If you read it, please share your opinion in the comments, because I'd really like to know other people's opinions. And the last book for today is going to be a surprise for you, as it was for me, because I mentioned this book several times on this channel, as I was very proud that I DNFed it. And then one day I wanted to read a historical fiction, but I was not ready to start a new book, as all of the ones I have on my shelves are over 500 pages. So I remembered about this one, which I read half of it. It was easier to just continue, but I guess that was a mistake, because it didn't get better, guys. And I'm talking about The Marriage Game by Alison Ware. It's a book about Elizabeth I, the daughter of Anne Boleyn and Henry VIII, a former Queen of England and Ireland. She also was the longest reigning monarch of the House of Tudor. Such an outstanding personality, and such a bad book about her. The book is entirely about her marriage and everything happening around that thing, like how she wanted or didn't want to get married, how she convinced everyone that she wouldn't get married, or why she wouldn't get married, like all about it, all about her relationship with Lord Robert Dudley, which the whole England discussed, and how she was playing with him all her and his life, just promising, giving him something, giving him, I would say, everything, but not the thing he really wanted. And he loved her for his whole life. He was waiting for her because she was promising him. And like, if you know the history, you know how it all ended. Maybe if you don't and you want to read this book, I will not spoil it for you, but it's not a spoiler because it's based on historical events. For me, it was like beating a dead horse for 500 pages. All of the same things, the whole book. I felt that the author doesn't show Elizabeth in a very good light. Of course, I don't know what kind of personality she really was, but in this book she comes across as an intriguer, very flighty and silly woman, a coquette who only cares about how not to get married, while everything else is unimportant. Like, come on, you're a queen. Like, she's very indecisive. In the previous book by the same author, she seemed to be very smart. She was like a child there. But here, she can make a decision and cancel it 10 times in a row. Not a very good trait when you're a queen. I wanted more depth in this book. I craved for other topics, politics, intrigues, even religion, whatever, to dilute this endless marriage theme. After reading 3 full books by Alison Ware, I can definitely say that her writing style, the language is very simple and plain, and you can for sure feel that the book is written by a modern author. I don't like it very much, but for some reason I still want to continue reading books by her because they help me relax. Probably not this one because it annoyed me so much, but other ones for sure. And I anyway will read other books by Alison Ware because I'm also curious if I like them or not. For me, this particular book is not a historical novel. It's more like an unsuccessful love story on a very weak historical background. 3 out of 5 stars. The whole novel, I felt like I was on the surface. No depth at all. All the same things over and over and over again. And maybe if this book was around 200 pages, it would be just perfect. But 500 pages? No, thank you. Even my notes were all the same, saying how much this book irritated me. So sorry, didn't like it. These were all of the books I read in August. Share what books you have finished lately, what you liked, what you disliked, and thank you for watching this video till the end. I will see you in the next one. Bye.